Have you ever found yourself crushing on someone so out of your league that even dreaming about them feels ridiculous? Now imagine finally catching their attention, but only because they need something from you. That's the wild, messy, and unexpectedly heartwarming situation Hannah Wells finds herself in. She's smart, low-key, and totally uninterested in college jocks, especially the kind who strut around like they own the world. But that all changes when Garrett Graham, the ridiculously hot, popular, and slightly arrogant hockey captain, fails a class and decides Hannah is his only hope. And no, he doesn't want her notes. He wants her to tutor him. Like, regularly. Publicly. And in return, he promises to help her catch the attention of a guy she's been crushing on. Wild, right? Now here's what's fascinating. Hannah isn't just your average, quiet girl with a brain. She's been through some real stuff. And that baggage? It's heavy, but she carries it like a champ, like someone who's learned to laugh again, even when laughing was the hardest thing. You feel it in every scene with her. She's sharp, guarded, but when she lets her guard down, oh man, she's real. And then there's Garrett. On the surface, he's the typical jock. The kind of guy who makes you roll your eyes because everything seems to come easy to him. Looks, popularity, girls, even his hockey career. But let me tell you something surprising. Garrett's life? Not as perfect as it looks. He's got his own demons. The kind that hide behind smirks and sarcasm. The kind that only come out when you're alone, late at night, wondering if you're ever going to be more than just what people expect you to be. So now picture this. The two of them, thrown into each other's worlds by necessity, start this little deal. She'll help him pass philosophy, and he'll help her make her crush jealous. Simple, right? But come on, we both know nothing about emotions is ever that simple. What starts as casual, almost comedic banter between tutor and student slowly turns into this electric tension neither of them knows what to do with. And that's where things get really interesting. Because Garrett? He starts noticing things. Like how Hannah bites her lip when she's focused. Or how she doesn't flinch at his usual flirt tactics. And Hannah? She starts realizing that Garrett isn't just a hockey stick and a pretty face. He's actually kind. And persistent. And sometimes painfully honest. But wait, here's the twist no one sees coming. This isn't just a college romance. It's a story about healing. About trusting someone enough to let them see the parts of you you're scared to even acknowledge. And it's about realizing that sometimes love doesn't enter your life like a gentle breeze. It crashes in like a hockey puck to the gut. There's this one scene, no spoilers, but let's just say it's the moment everything changes. You'll feel the shift. The atmosphere thickens. The sarcasm stops. And suddenly, these two people are standing across from each other, hearts practically exposed, unsure of what to say next. Have you ever felt that kind of moment? The one where silence says more than 1,000 words? What makes this story unforgettable is how it balances humor and depth so effortlessly. 1 minute you're laughing out loud at Garrett's cocky one-liners, and the next, you're holding your breath as Hannah talks about something she's never told anyone before. It's this emotional roller coaster that hooks you in, because you start rooting for them, not just as a couple, but as individuals. You want Hannah to finally feel safe. You want Garrett to be seen as more than just the hockey guy. And you want their connection, the slow burn, the awkward moments, the quiet confessions, to be real. And here's the thing that really sets this story apart. It doesn't rush. You know how in some stories, love just explodes out of nowhere and suddenly everything's perfect? The deal doesn't do that. It simmers. It teases. It builds trust before it builds romance. And that makes the payoff so much sweeter. You watch these two characters learn each other's rhythms. How to comfort. How to challenge. How to just be there. It's intimate, in a way that doesn't always involve physical touch. Sometimes it's just a late-night talk, or a shared song, or sitting in silence, knowing someone understands you. But of course, no good love story is complete without complications. And trust me, there are plenty. From past trauma to overbearing expectations, from jealous rivals to emotional misfires, Garrett and Hannah's journey isn't smooth. But every bump in the road feels earned. Every setback makes the eventual moments of connection hit harder. And every scene feels like it could actually happen. It's relatable in a way that sneaks up on you. Like, you might start reading for the romance, but somewhere along the line, you'll realize you're actually learning something about self-worth, about forgiveness, about how real connection requires vulnerability. Now, let's talk about something people don't always expect: the power of healthy masculinity in this book. Garrett might be confident, sometimes even infuriatingly so, but when it matters, he listens, he cares, he learns. And that's huge, because so many stories show guys who bulldoze their way into love. But Garrett earns it, bit by bit. And Hannah? She's never a damsel. She sets boundaries. She speaks up. She knows her worth even when it shakes. That dynamic? It's empowering. It flips the usual tropes on their head and gives us something better: two flawed people helping each other grow, not because they need each other, but because they choose each other. And right when you think you know where it's going, when your heart starts to settle into this warm, safe rhythm, something happens. Something that makes you stop and think, wait, is this going to fall apart? Because here's the truth: even the strongest connections can be tested. And sometimes the scariest part isn't falling in love. It's staying there even when things get hard. So here they are, Hannah and Garrett, standing at this emotional crossroads where everything they've built, all the late-night talks, the quiet understanding, the subtle touches that mean more than words, it's all hanging by a thread. Because even the most beautiful stories have cracks. And those cracks? They let in the doubt, the fear, the what-ifs. What if this is all temporary? What if we're just pretending we're okay? What if I let them in and they leave anyway? That's the part of the deal that hits hardest. It's not about some perfect fairy tale ending. It's about the work that goes into love. The conversations no one wants to have. The vulnerability it takes to say, I'm scared, but I'm still choosing you. And Garrett, this guy who used to skate through life like nothing touched him, starts to really feel. He's not just chasing grades or goals anymore. He's chasing something real. And the way he looks at Hannah? It's not just attraction. It's admiration, respect. Like he sees her whole story and still wants to be a part of it. And Hannah, in her quiet strength, starts to realize she doesn't have to keep carrying everything alone. That maybe letting someone in isn't a weakness. Maybe it's the bravest thing she could do. There's a moment, again, no spoilers, but when she finally opens up about what's happened in her past, and you can feel the air shift. It's raw. It's painful. But it's also powerful. Because in that moment, she reclaims a piece of herself. And Garrett? He doesn't try to fix it. He just listens. Stays. That's love. Not the dramatic gestures, but the quiet, steady presence when things get real. And just when it feels like they might finally be okay, life does what it always does. Throws a curveball. Whether it's pressure from family, unexpected consequences, or just the weight of their own insecurities, the question becomes, will they survive it? Or was this just a beautiful chapter that couldn't last? But let me tell you something that sticks with you after the last page. The deal isn't just about love. It's about choice. About choosing to believe you deserve good things. That your past doesn't define your future. That people can surprise you in the best ways. And maybe the biggest surprise of all? Sometimes, the person you least expect turns out to be the one who teaches you the most about yourself. There's something deeply satisfying about watching two people fall for each other, not just because they're attracted, but because they see each other. The real, unfiltered versions. And even with all the tension, the steamy moments, the laughs, and the tears, at its core, this book is about growth. Individually and together. It's messy. It's sweet. It's intense. And it's real. By the end, you're not just rooting for Hannah and Garrett to be together. You're rooting for them to be okay. To heal. To trust. And that's what makes the deal such a standout story. It gives you all the swoon-worthy romance, yes. But it also gives you something deeper. A reminder that the best kind of love doesn't complete you, it inspires you to complete yourself. And isn't that what we all want? Not just someone to fall in love with, but someone who sees the broken pieces and says, I'll sit with you while you heal. Someone who doesn't run when things get hard, but holds your hand through the storm. That's the kind of love the deal delivers. And once you feel it, you won't forget it. Feel like you're meant for more, but don't know how to get there? You're not alone. Every success story starts with doubt and a spark. The Self-Made Millionaire, Zero to Wealth isn't just a book. It's your roadmap to purpose, confidence, and success, built on real lessons from real millionaires. One reader said, "It didn't feel like a book. It felt like my future talking to me." Inside, you'll find the exact mindset and principles used by the world's most successful people. No fluff, just real, life-changing wisdom. Ready to take the first step? Get it 100% free. Just subscribe and comment "book" below.